It's me. Surprise!
And support a black-owned business.
I run my city from the west side, big to best. I do a day to shy. Wayne, Louisiana, Dr. Dre to Los Angeles. This is it, bitch. Michael Misfit, hot day, a legend and moonwalk. Sliding across the stage in '87. This that Tupac out the window. Both hands throwing up that middle finger. Fuck them other niggas, ratchet bitches in my demons. Yeah, I'm queening.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another reaction video. It is your host with the most when you need a toast. We finna brag, get both. I'm gonna figure it out. No, I'm not. I'm just gonna spew that out whenever I feel like it. You understand me? But we back with another reaction video. I am your girl, Natalie Love. I'm your host with the most, your comedic commentary to facilitate these reaction videos. All right? Now, before we delve into this video, allow me to give you a couple of house rules. Rule number 1, I cuss, I curses, I do all the things, okay? Rule number 2, if for any reason you don't like frequent pauses, chatty Cathy's during the video, motherfucker that just talk a whole bunch during reaction videos that warrant your reaction, I'm going to ask you to go ahead on and just exit stage left now. If anything that happens or goes on this channel that moves you to negative words, go ahead and just move them motherfuckers to your text message and send them to absolutely nowhere, because that's where they will go from here, okay? Now, if you are still under the sound of my voice, that means that you're okay with everything that I just stated in them house rules. The only thing I need you to do now is like. Why? Because it helps us grow. Comment just to let the love gang know that you subscribe to the family, okay? Now y'all done called me on a rough day, and that's all right. All right? That's all right. Okay? But I'm still gonna pump out these motherfucking reaction videos, and that's period. Okay? This reaction video we got is top 5 scariest home invasion stories, and y'all know I have a special place in my heart for Mr. Ballin, so that's who this is. All right? Again, I'm sorry if I didn't tell my old babies welcome. My cousins, my aunties out there, my virtual partners. I am too your virtual homegirl, okay? So whenever you need something to look at, laugh at, stop on by this channel. You may as well subscribe. You ain't did it yet? Oh, okay, thank you. But like I said, I'm your virtual partner that talk a whole lot. So I gave you the name. If you want to be a boring bitch, if you want to be a little basic today and watch it in the quiet, go ahead on and watch it by yourself, all right? Don't bother us. You don't have to be like that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead on and get this video started. Y'all already know how this thing go. Let me make sure we are recording. Bow. And let's go.
When I was in high school, my house was broken into. Luckily, me and my family were out of the house. And the way they got in is we just left the door unlocked. It was just stupid on our part. Someone walked right in, stole some money, some jewelry, and my PlayStation. Now, we were okay, and ultimately, financially, we recovered. But what did not go away was that uneasy feeling of being in a place where the safety, the sanctity of that place had been violated. And for me, I could never get that back. I still, at night, quadruple check every lock in my house. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should live your life in a permanent state of fear that someone might break into your home, but you should never become totally complacent, because somewhere in the world, someone is having their house broken into. It's an unfortunate reality of living on this planet. Now, home invasions range dramatically from something like mine, where no one's home, to way more severe. And so what I've done for today's video is I have found the most terrifying home invasions that I've come across on the internet and ranked them in the top 5. But before we get into the top 5, if you're a fan of the strange...
I can agree with that. Triple checking your doors. Me and Mike have had 2 of our places broken into, which is why I'm not neighborly or motherfucking friendly. Don't speak to me. I will not speak to you. Okay, a lot of people don't know they got this much personality. Oh, blah, 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 blah. A lot of motherfuckers don't realize they got this much personality living next door. But because I don't, the 2 times that we were attempting to get to know new people in the area and shit like that, we got both times. And one of which a person was actually in the house. Yeah. I might make that a story time one day and tell y'all about that. But yeah, in the house. And we came home and went to bed, and they came back. Yeah. So, like I said, I might make that story time or whatever, but I can understand now, because I too check the windows, triple check the doors. I'll know that I locked the door, but I'm gonna make sure. Like Mike usually go around at night and he'll do, checks on all the doors and shit. And I'll normally go back and do it again just because, And that's why I'm an avid believer in keeping you a pistola somewhere about you. Okay, I don't, that kind of shit I don't play with. No ma'am, no ham. No. So I can definitely dig what he was saying about being ultra paranoid.
Dark and mysterious, delivered in story format, then you come to the right channel, because that's all I do, and I upload 3, 4, even 5 times every week. So if you're interested in that, I would encourage you to gently give the like button a hug, because honestly, the like button's been through a lot on my channel. It needs a break. Also, please subscribe to my channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my weekly uploads. All right, let's get into today's
Subscribe to our channels. Come on, Mr. Ballin, the ad right in the beginning. You could have just gave me an ad. You did give me an ad in the beginning. Now, come on. Don't be doing that. But yeah, it's a unsettling fucking feeling. It's unsettling as fuck, and it just, you feel violated, and it's like something you can never get back, especially if they ain't never called.
In 2014, a 16-year-old girl living in the UK was home one night with her mom, and she was in her bedroom and she was flipping through her phone when she gets a text message. The message was coming from a boy she had recently met via Snapchat. He told her to go to her window and look outside because he was right near her apartment. Now, this girl did not know this boy particularly well, so it was very creepy to be told, "I'm on your property."
Right.
But either way, she went to the window to look. There's no one out there. And it's late, so she can't really tell if maybe he's hiding or something. But she feels really creeped out by this, and she ends up leaving her bedroom and going into her mother's room and tells her mom, "Hey, I'm going to sleep in here with you tonight." She doesn't tell her mom about the text message. Maybe she was embarrassed. We don't know. So the girl is laying in bed, her mom's asleep, and as she's about to put her phone down and actually go to sleep, she gets another text from this boy.
"I'm in your house."
She immediately wakes her mom up. She shows her mom. Her mom's like, "Oh no." She jumps out of bed. Every light goes on. Runs downstairs to confront this person who's apparently in their apartment, but he's not there. The mother ultimately decides, after not finding anything, that, he's not here. We didn't hear anybody come in the house. The doors are locked, everything's locked. So they did another sweep through the apartment and checked every entrance, locked everything. Let's just go to bed. So they go back into the mother's bedroom, shut and lock the door, and the two of them go to sleep. The next morning, the mother is still sleeping. The girl wakes up a little bit early and she decides to go into her bedroom. As soon as she walked in, she would later tell reporters that immediately she felt like she was being watched. And so she starts doing a cursory check of her small bedroom. She, pulls the door aside, looks behind the door. She opens her closet, pulls her clothes aside, looking around, there's no one in there. And she's thinking to herself, that boy got to my head and I'm psyching myself out. She looks down at her bed, and she used to keep all of her shoes lined up next to her bed. And she was really OCD about how she organized her shoes. And she noticed that one set of shoes was out of place. It was a subtle thing that really only she would be able to recognize. And so she gets down on her knees to rearrange the shoes. And that's when she sees something out of the corner of her eye. Her bed was slightly elevated, and so she had a little bit of a line of sight under the bed as soon as she was kneeling. And under the bed is a face. And it's the face of the boy who had said, "I'm outside your house." And he's the same one who said, "I'm in your house." And he's smiling up at her, and he's clutching his phone, looking at her. She runs out of the room. She runs to her mom's room and says, "He's in there, he's in there."
Teach your motherfucking sons to not play with... First of all, a face popping up anywhere and it ain't supposed to be there is scary and off-putting anyway. You done slept in our house all motherfucking night. And you had to have been in here because we made sure the doors was locked before we laid down. So you been under my bed. That's terrifying.
The mother comes barreling in, protective mama coming in. The boy's out from under the bed. The boy, in a panic, runs to the window, pulls it open, and jumps out of the window. The boy would turn out to be Kyle Ravenscroft, and he had very quickly become obsessed with this girl.
He would have been
he just
shot.
Wanted to be close to her. And so when she got that text message that was, "Hey, come look out your window," he was hiding. And when she went into her mom's room, he could actually see her go into the mom's room, and he climbed up the side of the apartment into the window that was open, shut it, and climbed under the bed so that when the mother and the daughter were searching the house, he was already in the house. So they locked him into the house. He was ultimately given a very small sentence. I think it was a couple weeks in jail, a fine, and some community service. But no matter what the sentence was, I'm sure that girl will have to deal with the trauma of that event for the rest of her life.
Meth banshee.
In 2014, a couple came back to their house in Seattle, Washington, and found it absolutely destroyed, but in totally baffling ways. All of their shoes that had the soles inside of the shoe ripped out. Someone had taken a big can of paint, taken the lid off, and flipped it upside down on the top of the toilet. Their mail had been ripped to pieces and it was laying all over the ground. Their clothes had been ripped out of all the drawers. There was this piece of wood that they didn't know where it came from that had a single screw screwed into it that had been wedged between a door and the door frame, but it wasn't blocking it from opening. It was just like someone wedged it in the middle of the door for some reason. There was hand lotion all over the door handles of some of the doors in their house. There was also a purse sitting on their bed that had the ID card of a 27-year-old woman.
So basically, Mervis the Purvis done broke into y'all fucking house, cause what is all this about? I don't understand.
Who they didn't recognize. The couple does a quick look around, but is worried someone might still be there, so they leave and they call the police. The police show up and they're just as confused as the couple because nothing was stolen. There was no sign of forced entry. It was just like someone came in there and wrecked the house and then left. It was very confusing. And so ultimately the police just went back to their precinct to write up the report and told the couple, hey, lock your doors and, be on the lookout for someone trying to rob you again. After the police left, the couple began cleaning up the mess inside of their house. And after a couple hours of doing that, they decided, we'll finish this up tomorrow. They're laying in bed and they start hearing this sound that sounds like an animal dying coming from underneath their bed. Now, they didn't think this could be a person because there was almost no space underneath their bed. It was, barely any clearance under their beds. They're thinking an animal must have gotten in here. We had the doors wide open as we were cleaning stuff out. Maybe an animal got in here. They're like, no, we're not going to deal with this. They jump up and run out of the bedroom and call the police again. Police show up, they go into the bedroom, and there is a person underneath their bed. 90-pound, 27-year-old crazy woman who was high on meth, carrying a knife and a hypodermic needle. And she was under there burrowing a hole underneath the bed. She was the same woman that was on that ID card in the purse that they...
Excuse me? You are under my bed. Now, what if she would have gotten that needle through that mattress and the box spring? It's scary to know that there's shit like that exists outside. Like, what? You have literally squozen into the smallest space that you could find to get under my bed. To the point to where you are in pain because we are on top of you at this point. Not only that, in your meth rage, you have wandered into my house to fuck it up. You couldn't find nothing else to do. It ain't no trash outside need picking up that you could have stabbed with your little knife and put into a garbage bag. Like, why you can't think of nothing valuable to do with your time? What the fuck is up, love family? As y'all already know, this is your girl, Natalie Love. And yes, I've been gone for a minute, but bitch, I'm back with the jump off. Not only that, bitch, I'm back with motherfucking merch, okay? Y'all love Teeny so much, I got her on the shirt. Y'all love being from the New Revival Tree of Life Institutional Double Rock on the side of the road Missionary Baptist Church of Mount Calvary. Bitch, I got a shirt for that. Dude, the Lord allowed cussing. Wow. Okay, fuck it. But I got shirts. Y'all make sure to get off your ass or stay on your ass. Just stay on your phone and go to that website and look up some shit about me and get a shirt.
They had found earlier. Her story was She climbed up the tree that was outside the window and jumped into the second floor window while the couple was gone. She ransacked the house for reasons we don't understand and then went under the bed. And there was so little clearance under the bed that the couple did not think to look under there for people. So that whole time they were cleaning up, she was still in the house. Luckily, she didn't get all the way through. Who knows what she would have done if she'd actually punctured all the way through.
All kind of shit up under their bed. Probably going through a claustrophobic fit and couldn't kick or scream because the bed too close to the ground. Boy, listen here. It got to be a stop to it. For jeez. Ugh.
In 2017, a young college girl who was living alone in an apartment started to notice that something didn't feel right. In the morning, she'd get up and she'd open her fridge, and some of the food that she would leave in there, it appeared like there was less of it. A couple times she would wake up and she'd walk out into her living room and one of the pillows would be in a different position or had even fallen off the couch. There was just little things happening in her apartment that collectively was actually pretty unsettling and was starting to scare her. And she started having these nightmares at night that someone was breaking into her apartment. One night, she wakes up from one of those nightmares and she's drenched in sweat. She decides she's going to take a shower before she goes back to sleep. She goes to her bathroom and she brings her phone. She would play music while she was taking a shower. She would put her phone right up against the window that was next to the shower curtain so at any time she could reach over.
The first thing ran through my mind is it her sweat that she's drenched in? Fun fact, I do not like Airbnbs. Slightly don't care for hotels, definitely don't like motels, and do not like hotels where the rooms are like not connected to the lobby and shit. Anything you can park and walk into a door, hate those. I saw this movie 12 cameras and 13 cameras. Changed my fucking life. It would be hard for me to stay in an Airbnb. This man, not only was he kidnapping the fucking women, this man would go into these people's houses, Airbnbs, as they gone during the day. He would put their toothbrush in his mouth. He would put their toothbrush in his ass. He would just do crazy stuff to their belongings. And then he had cameras inside of the wall plugs and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get your phone in there. Or the screws of the wall plugs is cameras. Or if you in the AC vents, I look in all of that shit whenever I stay in a room. The AC vent would have like a little camera. Like, that is terrifying. And a lot of these movies be having some form of truth to them about something. That scared me beyond belief, just because. And the entire time he would be in the basement of these houses. Any of these places, he would either be in the basement or he would be watching them from an apartment complex not too far away from where they are. But he always had access to the basement. And gave him access to the house. Because, of course, it's an Airbnb. I can lock a door and not tell you why it's locked. You can't go in there and can't nothing come out. I'm not a fan.
Change the song and then keep showering. She had a very old door on the bathroom where there was actually a key on the inside of the door that if you wanted to, you could actually lock the door and then take the key out, and the only way to open it again, even from the inside, is with that key. So she's taking her shower, she's listening to music, and at some point, she wants to change the song. And so she pulls the shower curtain back just enough to reach her hand out to touch next on her phone when she stops. The phone was reflecting something in the middle of her bathroom. And it was a dark figure standing in her bathroom, shoulders squared up to the actual shower. So someone is standing in the middle of her bathroom facing her right now. I don't know how she did this, but she stayed composed. She retracted her hand, turned the water all the way to scalding hot. She took the shower head out, and once the water was so hot there was steam all over the bathroom, in one fell swoop, she ripped open the curtain and sprayed the water directly on the face of the person standing right there next to her. She runs past this person who's now clutching their face and screaming in pain. She grabs the key on her door on the inside, locks it, takes the key out, runs out of her bathroom, slams it behind her, locking the intruder in the bathroom. The girl runs into her kitchen to get her butcher knife. She had one nice knife, but when she went into the kitchen, her one butcher knife, she couldn't find it. She ditches the idea of getting a knife and instead grabs a towel and runs out of her apartment. She makes it outside. She calls the police. The police show up. The girl gives them the key to the bathroom. They go into her apartment and they unlock the bathroom and they pull this person out. It was this crazy lady who used to live at this apartment, and she had apparently made copies of the keys and had been sneaking in whenever this girl wasn't there, or at night she would sneak into her apartment and she would sleep there on the couch and then leave before the girl woke up. So as the police bring this woman away, one of the officers breaks off and...
So, bitch, you got that much nerve? People don't get up for nothing at night? I may not have a household emergency. Close your eyes with me and imagine. You done locked all your doors. Everybody in your house is in their bedroom sleep. Fuck it. It's just you that live there. You get a phone call that somebody needs you to come help. Homegirl tired and went flat. Your wallet is on the couch. Now, you know your place front and back, so you in the damn dark. So all you gonna do is reach down and grab your wallet because it's right there on the couch where you left it. And you reach down and there's a face on your fucking couch. What do? You don't know who or what the fuck you done grabbed. On your couch. There is another human person in here, and 9 times out of 10, you in the dark. Because I know I walk through here in the dark all the time. There's no way I could stay there after that. I have no reason to reside here anymore. This place ain't safe for not only me, but for somebody the hell else. Open your eyes now.
He goes over to the girl who owns the apartment and he holds up an evidence bag, and it's the girl's butcher's knife. The woman had taken it from the kitchen and was standing in the bathroom waiting for her to get out of the shower.
Because I'm intruding in your
looks like
place.
she wanted her apartment back.
I'm in your place.
If I told you there was a free way to
That is insane. That's, She want her apartment back. Pay some rent.
In 1981, a 9-year-old boy discovered that if he was really quiet, he could sneak out of his bedroom at night, go down into the kitchen, and eat as much junk food as he wanted. One night in the summer that year, his family went out for this huge dinner at this amazing restaurant, and when they came back, they had all these leftovers. And the boy really wanted to eat the remainder of the sweet and sour pork. He was really excited about it. So everyone goes to bed, and he's really deliberate. He starts sneaking down the stairs, being ultra careful. He gets to the end of the stairs, hasn't made a sound. And that's when he freezes because he hears what sounds like a fork making a little clinking sound against the counter. And he thinks, my parents have got to be in there. And if they see me, I'm going to be totally busted. So I don't want them to see me. And so he begins to turn his head around the corner because he was obscured by the wall. And he pokes his head just far enough in to where he can see into the kitchen. And standing in the middle of the kitchen is this skinny man that he's never seen before, drinking milk directly from the carton with the fridge wide open. The kid holds back a scream and sneaks back up the stairs. When he finally gets upstairs, he runs into his parents' room and he tells them what's going on. The father runs downstairs, ready to confront whoever's there. There's no one there. There's not even a sign that anyone was there. So they look everywhere and they can't find anything. And so the parents don't believe him. And everybody goes back to bed, and that's that. The boy was very confident at what he saw. Although he did feel like...
Imagine waking up the next day and your mama got you a bowl of cereal on the goddamn counter.
I mean, I guess I could have imagined it. But he started paying really close attention to everything in his house. In the mornings, he would go downstairs before everybody else, and he would see if there was any sign of someone having been in the kitchen. He noticed at one point that the napkin holder had been moved to the wrong side of the counter. He also noticed one time there was a mug that was in the sink that no one had used the night before. And so he's thinking that someone is sneaking into our house. I don't know how, I don't know where, but I'm confident that it's still happening. But his parents didn't believe him. 3 months after the boy has seen this person in his kitchen, he's in his bedroom, he's just laying there, and he's looking up at the vent on his ceiling, an air conditioning vent. And as he's looking at it, he sees a pair of eyes go over the vent, looking down at him. And they blink, and he can tell it's eyes looking at him. It takes him a second to process it, but he freaks. runs out of his room, runs to his parents' room, and he like can barely talk. He's like, there's someone in the vent. The parents run into his room, they check crawl spaces, the attic, they're shining a light into the vent. They can't find anything. And so once again, it turns into, you're making this up, you have an overactive imagination, there's nothing going on in this
I'm running
house.
away.
But a week goes by.
At this point, I'm running away. You don't have to believe me. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. You staying here with him.
And their house started to smell really bad. And the majority of the stink was coming from that vent in the boys' room. And even worse, there were maggots falling out of that vent. So they got the air conditioning people over to have a look, and they were totally confident that what they were going to find is a dead animal up inside the vent. But that's not what they find. They find a dead man who had been living in their ceiling. There was literally a cot that had been set up inside of their ceiling. There were drawings of this boy taken from the perspective of looking down at him through the vent. Someone had been living in their ceiling over the boy's bed for months and then died up there. The man was never identified and was buried at John Doe. And I'm sure the parents felt really bad about not believing their son.
Yeah, I ain't got no reason to lie to y'all. I'm telling you what I see.
In 2013, a young woman was living alone in an apartment and she was on the phone with her boyfriend. As she's chatting with her boyfriend, she decides to go get her mail. She walks into the main hall to this area where all the mail slots are on the wall. She's chatting, she opens up her slot, she gets her mail, shuts her slot, and then she walks back down the hall to her apartment, opens the door, goes back in, and she goes to her bedroom. And she's sitting on her bed, feet on the floor, and she's got her phone, and she kind of tucks it against her shoulder, and she's rifling through her mail. And as she's flipping through her mail, the phone drops. And the way that it lands is it kind of bounces backwards underneath the bed. She puts her mail in the bed and she gets down on her chest to extend her arm out to get her phone that's now well under the bed. And as soon as she starts looking for the phone, she freezes and she stifles a scream. There's a man in the fetal position tucked against the far side underneath the bed, not looking at her. The girl stays composed. She gets her phone. She goes, "Hey, I'm going to take a quick shower. Let me call you right back." With her phone in hand, she walks right out, goes into her bathroom, which is right next door, shuts it, locks it, turns on the shower, opens her window, and jumps out. She was on the first floor. Goes right across the street and hides behind a car, and she calls the police. The police show up, they go inside, and they bring out this crazy, deranged-looking man. As they're taking him away in handcuffs, one of the officers comes over to her, and he says to her, "You know, you're very lucky you did what you did, because we found him in your apartment standing outside of the bathroom holding a knife. He was waiting for you." The girl believes that when she went to get her mail, she was distracted because she was talking to her boyfriend and she must not have shut her apartment door, at which point this guy must have snuck in and gotten under her bed. The man was committed to a mental institution and the girl's boyfriend moved in with her the next day. So I hope you enjoyed today's stories. If you haven't already...
That's terrifying. But I wish I could show it to you right now. But that's why I don't do no under the bed. Ain't no under the bed. I always like drawers, or I get them boxes that go around the bottom of the bed. Ain't no under the bed here. You can't push shit under the bed. Don't shit roll up under the bed. I'm not looking up under the bed. Whatever's under the bed is trapped up under the bed. You understand me? Ain't no under the bed here. You got to go through too much. You're going to have to move this big-ass mattress, both of these box springs off the bed. Then you're going to have to move the wooden planks to get underneath. Then you're going to have to put all that shit back. By that time, we know you in here, pimp. Ain't no under the bed in my house. None. We're not doing under the bed. Ain't no under the bed. Any nooks and crannies in the goddamn ceiling, quack them bitches shut. We don't need nothing up there. And it don't need nothing down here. I couldn't imagine looking into an air vent and I see something looking back at me. And not only that, but this man had been up there long enough to where your son is entertainment to him. He is drawing your fucking son. Sometimes them kids don't be always lying to you. Everything ain't an imaginary goddamn friend. That terrified the hell out of me. We on to the next one, baby. Until next time, y'all know what to do. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And bye.